On tonight's episode, the second part of our two-part interview with A La Mode.
This and more on tonight's Blonde Bombshells episode. Welcome to Music Fusion Fridays right here on KBVR. I'm Maya Holmes.
And I'm Brittany Wooten.
And we're the Blonde Bombshells.
Here to give you your weekly music news. Last week, we brought you part one of our interview with up-and-coming band A La Mode.
In part two, we talked to each member individually to get their thoughts on the music. Without further ado, A La Mode.
Hi, my name's Chris Riedel. I'm the bass player for A La Mode. A little bit about me, I started playing music when I was 5 years old. My mother put me into a group. It was a choral group with a bunch of little youngsters singing show tunes. Our first gig was at the Huckleberry Festival in a small town in Washington, in front of a bunch of hillbilly folk sharing their wildwood trades out there, and we performed a bunch of show tunes, and it was super good time and really got me started on my path. I then took piano lessons from 7 years old until I was 11, which I harshly gave up, Didn't pick up anything else again until I was about 15 years old when I walked into my brother's room and picked up his guitar. It was a bright red Yamaha slasher, like metal guitar, and he used to play a lot of punk rock and really liked Nirvana, so I grabbed his CD, Nevermind by Nirvana with the naked baby on it, and just locked myself in a room for a week. Learned every single Kurt Cobain lick I could try to learn. And after that, it just kind of kept rolling. I would grab other CDs that I liked. I listened to a lot of like 90s Chili Peppers, a lot of John Frusciante and Hillel Slavik, that really like dirty grunge funk guitar. Really got into that for a while. My first professional gig playing music was in the lounge of the Columbia Gorge Hotel, where I met the pianist, Brian Lloyd, and he played a lot of like top 40s songs, and he just let me come in and kind of doodle over what he had, and I messed up a lot. I would play over when he was singing, and he would get really mad at me, but that's kind of how I learned how to play with a little bit of dynamics and play within a music compilation. But yeah, then I moved to Portland and started meeting other people and trying to play out in bars and just doing it as much as possible. I met Brian, the piano player in A La Mode, in a business class actually, and then 2 years later found him playing jazz piano in a cafe, and we got together, and that was that. We just kind of started writing music, and soon after that we got Jeff and Ryan into the group, and now we're making some really cool projects.
Hi, my name is Jeff. I'm a member of A La Mode. I play guitar and I sing backup vocals. I'm here to talk about the history of my musical experience, and began at a young age. I was introduced to singing in church and at school, and in the early grades of elementary school I learned how to play guitar and did a lot of singing with that. And as I moved through school, I participated in a boys chorus in Tucson, Arizona, which is where I grew up. And I was lucky enough to travel around the country and go overseas to Africa, and then travel into Canada and Mexico. And we would go on month-long tours and perform as a professional ensemble. And that was really a great experience, and it helped me realize that music was something that I wanted to pursue for the rest of my life. And besides singing, when I was about around the age of 8, I got my own guitar after I had learned how to play, and I really enjoyed that instrument because it gave me something to accompany my voice with. And so as I became more familiar with the guitar, I got interested in rock and roll music and began to idolize Jimi Hendrix and all those guys. And then I knew that I wanted to be in a rock band. And so when I had friends who were interested in a similar path, I put it all together, and when I was in high school, I had some experience playing in groups and playing for friends, playing at little school functions, and being the kid who was in a band. And by my senior year in high school, I was playing with a group that was a 7-piece ska band, and we had a 4-part horn section. We played shows around town a lot, and that was really fun. We were called Monterey, and that was a great time, and I was able to get studio experience, live performing experience, and gain sort of a network with other musicians in town. And then after spending time in high school singing in the choral ensembles and playing in the marching band, and doing all that stuff, I decided that I wanted to go study music at a university, and so I came up here to Portland, Oregon. And through the university, I met Chris, and Chris and I played some music together. I accompanied him on drums while he played guitar, and his friend Duncan played bass, and we played a show and learned some songs together, and that was really, really fun times. And then this year when I came back after summer vacation, came back to school for the second year, Chris had put this music project together with Ryan and Brian, and they needed a guitarist, and they also wanted to have strong vocal presence. So Chris asked me if I could help him out, and I said that I would be happy to do so. So we put it all together and recorded a demo, and here we are now in the studio trying to get a whole album recorded. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be where I am now, and has a lot to do with the path that I took as a musician, and being exposed as a child and being surrounded by it, and having parents who were willing to let me pursue music as a hobby and as a profession as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoy.
Okay. Well, I got my start playing drums when I was 18, and I basically went and looked up a drum set on Craigslist while my parents were out of town, or not out of town, but they were out for the day. And I drove out to Downey. I grew up in Southern California, so I drove out to Downey, and I bought this drum set off a dude who had to support a drug habit, because he sold me this thing for so cheap. And I set it up in my garage, so when my parents came home, they found out I had a drum set, which wasn't very cool for them. So I started playing drums really loud, and eventually I got banned from the house, and ultimately kicked out. And then I couldn't play drums or anything for a long time because you can't set them up in apartments anywhere. Everyone complains. I mean, I even got in some pretty weird altercations with my neighbors over drums, which could be a whole nother interview. But yeah, basically I had no drums and no outlet for anything, and I started playing around on the piano for a little bit, and just kind of making noise, seeing what I could come up with. I didn't take lessons or anything, and but when I was playing with people, I was still playing drums, because we'd have lockout spaces and different things, and I could still play drums with people. But then I started meeting better drummers than me, and everyone was just so much better, you know, and I was like, man, I gotta get out of this game. I'm not gonna make it. Everyone's so much better than me, and still that way with piano now too, but I'm working on it. So I started playing piano with people more and more, and people seem to be more interested in me as a keyboard player. You know, they're seeing where I was, there was less competition for gigs with keyboard players than there was with drummers. You know, a million drummers, a couple of keyboard players. And so I started playing with this band, Dolphin City, who are actually still around and doing all right for themselves in LA. But I wasn't really happy with them, and I decided that I wanted to go to school. So I moved to LA looking for a school, and there was nothing there that I really wanted to go to or could afford to go to. And so I ended up leaving LA, coming up to Portland, and I had to wait around here for like 10 months before I got into PSU, and they denied me from PSU for a while. They told me I didn't know what jazz was. I decided I wanted to study jazz because it was, for me, it's a superior technique and music theory to apply to music that I want to make. And they denied me. They told me I should find another major, And then they told me I didn't know what jazz was. And then they told me I should take lessons for a year. And so I did that. I never took lessons before, before I got into school basically. And my teacher helped me get into school, and now I'm going to PSU Jazz, which is a really cool program, a lot of really good teachers, and I'm taking lessons for once, and that's how I got in. And I met Chris at a business class, and he didn't even know I played piano for like a year later. And I met Ryan, our drummer, actually in a jazz combo class. And then Chris knew Jeff, our guitar player, and so everything sort of came together. And yeah, that's how I got up here. I mean, I don't really have much of a music history. You guys are looking for music history, but I just started playing. How'd you find this band? I found this band through school. Like I said, I started taking business classes just so I could get my foot in the door at PSU, and I met Chris. And then I'm trying to think. He worked at Portland State Professional Sound, and so I'd see him around and kind of talk. And then I forget exactly how, but he needed someone to help him out with a gig or something, like a little set. And so he saw me playing piano, I think, in the Food for Thought Cafe, which is the basement of PSU. And he saw me there, and he said, we should do something. I got this gig, and I need some players. And so we threw together like a quartet in like 45 minutes before, and we went out there and jammed and had a good time. So we've sort of been playing ever since.
Don't touch that dial, we'll be right back.
All the kids in Tokyo are going to a rock and roll show.
Welcome to Music Fusion Fridays here on KBVR. I'm Maya Holmes.
And I'm Brittany Wooten.
And we're the Blonde Bombshells.
Here to give you your weekly music news.
Don't let off the throttle. Feet first until we hit the bottom. Feet first until we reach Narita. Feet first. Well, baby, I wanna go back to Tokyo.
Hey everyone, welcome to Locals Live on Music Fusion Fridays on the one and only KBVR channel 26.
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Brown bagging lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is $21,000. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
I'm Jeremy Call, and I made suction tires. I used a rivet gun to connect the suction cups, and then I just connected it to the tire.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your invention at inventnow.org.
Mom!
What?
You can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
This past week, our correspondents, the Sierras, went to Cloud 9 for the Corvallis stop in the Put It on the Tab concert tour.
Let's see what they found.
I've gotta get on top of it. I've got to get on, 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 get on.
All right, people.
Hi everyone, I'm Sierra and I'm here with solo singer Caitlin Cardier. So that was a really amazing performance I just saw.
Thank you.
It's crazy. I was back in the bathroom and I heard your voice and I was like, I have to go out and see who that is. I was determined, and so you did an awesome job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be in Corvallis. Like I can't say that we've had a better show besides Tracy, California. The other shows on the tour have been, I mean, there's been people there, but like this tonight was just like, I had a lot of family in the house. I have a lot of friends out here. And they all came out in droves. I mean, I was just so excited to be here tonight. And J-Tab put on a great show tonight. And I vibed off his energy and the DJ's energy. We got DJ Project out here and put it on the Tab tour. You know, we're on the last leg of our tour, and it's just, we're pushing hard. We're pushing hard for sure.
That's great. So you have a lot of support.
Yeah, we do. We definitely have a lot of support. We get a lot of support. And if we don't have the support, we're gaining it steadily. Like, we come and we just tear it down. We tear it down every time. The house is dancing. JT's music is just a perfect blend with mine to, I mean, I couldn't be more happy to be on this tour. It's just such an honor, for sure, for sure.
Well, I'm a supporter now, just so you know.
Hey, Caitlin Cartier, Infinity. It's out. Get it, get it, get it. CaitlinCartier.com, ReverbNation.com/Caitlin Cartier, Facebook.com/Caitlin Cartier, Twitter.com/Caitlin Cartier. It's all Caitlin Cartier. You can find me. Google me, baby.
Now, with your name, where did that come from?
It actually, Cartier, it came from the jewelry company, you know, Cartier Jewelry, and I love jewelry. It's all over me. I'm missing a big necklace tonight. I love my necklace. I'm missing it. I may have left it in a hotel room. But it just came from my love of jewelry. It came from the love of the name, Cartier, Caitlin Cartier. It was just, it fit me. I just felt like I was searching for something to like renew myself. I had been in a prior band, and I didn't think it was, you know, it was time to start over and renew and do something different, and Cartier fit perfectly, so.
Well, I really like it a lot, and I like your voice.
Thank you.
Who has been some major influences? Like, what influences you?
Influences, definitely SWV, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott. I mean, the list goes on. Aretha Franklin. It goes on. There's a lot of influences, and Whitney Houston. I mean, Whitney Houston was a huge one when I was little. Like, I totally grew up in the 90s, and Whitney Houston was a big, big deal back in the day, and she totally was my drive to become a singer for sure.
Yeah. Well, you have a really strong voice.
Thank you.
How long have you been singing for?
I've been singing my whole life, professionally and working as an artist, being paid for about 2 to 3 years, and I met a lot of wonderful people. I just opened for Belle Biv DeVoe in February, which is an old 80s group. Belle Biv DeVoe, That Girl Is Poison. SWV, John B. I'll Be Sure. That was a huge concert to open up for. So I feel like we're making big moves. I feel like we're making making headway for sure.
Now, are you trying to go mainstream? Is that your goal with your career?
I think it just depends on your definition of mainstream. If your definition of mainstream is top 40 radio, then yes and no. I mean, top 40 radio is what it is. It's very poppy, and I feel like I couldn't really express my true art through top 40 radio. But it would be it's a goal of mine for sure to hit top 40. I mean, no doubt. But mainstream-wise, like, I'd like to stay doing these intimate crowds. I'd love to do big shows all my life. I mean, it's fun, but I did an intimate show with Belle Biv DeVoe, and it's 3,200 people. I mean, you really don't get the intimacy. You don't get to look into people's eyes, and you don't get to dance with them and have a good time. And I think that it's the fan base and the following is stronger as an underground artist, and everybody wants to be a sellout, which is what that's called. But I just don't. I would love to sell out, no doubt. Sell me out. Let's do it. You know what I mean? I love to make music, and this is what I do. I want to do it and get paid for it. So this is how we do it. This is how it goes.
That's great. Okay, so your fans, you said they can follow you on Facebook, Twitter,
Reverb Nation. You can find me at CaitlinCartier.com. You can find me all over the place. I got lots of articles on the internet. You could look it up. Google me.
Okay, that's all I have for you right now. Caitlin Cartier.
Thank you, Sierra.
It's nice to meet you.
Cloud9, what's up? Big shout out to Cloud. Big shout out to J Tablet, DJ Project. We're out here, Sierra. And, I really appreciate being on here with you guys. Have a great night. Shouts to all my fans in the parking lot. What up, what up? Yeah! I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back with the interview with J Tablet himself, so stick around.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We got the spirit, we're hot, we can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a
One
dad
more
today.
time. Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
You believe this guy? Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry.
Pass the honey?
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Bottles sinking in nothing. Reach for the hollows, bring till I'm hollow. Fall in the car, you're singing, I go home. Not far, but a fool up. I see outside, but we all still cold. Real time. It is never no play, no grinding. Like out.
Well, I'm down here with Jay Tablet at Cloud9. He's released 2 CDs, the last one being Put It on the Tab. So Jay Tablet, tell me a little bit about yourself, about your music.
Okay, well, you know, my music's basically more of dance music, party music. This album is my first solo album from a group called Cloak Characters. So we're based out of Bend, Oregon, and we basically, we make dark party music. That's what we're described as. So, you know, it's time to party.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm excited to hear it.
Yes, indeed.
What got you started? Who's your inspirations?
I grew up listening to a lot of different music. I had, you know, classic rock was a big influence, all the way to like Swollen Members, you know, Tupac, Biggie, all the hip hop heads, underground heads like Aesop Rock, Living Legends, Hieroglyphics. So.
I saw that you performed with them, or before them. How was that?
I performed with them a few times. I actually have a show tomorrow with Opio, A+, and Nobody. Hyro's like a big group, you know. So it's good to grow up listening to them and then have a chance to perform with them. So.
And where's that show gonna be?
Tomorrow in Bend.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Local, so that's good.
You know.
Yeah, that's awesome. You talked a little bit about your influences. Who do you like to listen to the most then?
Right now, actually, I've been listening to a lot more like electronic music. Okay. So I've been listening to like more Glitch Mob, Bass Nectar, and those kind of things. But I still listen to, you know, like Kid Cudi and Kanye and all the pop people still too.
So where does Jay Tablet come from? What's that mean to you?
It's kind of weird. It started with Chlorine, and Chlorine was kind of like more of like old school when I was like 17, and Chlorine Tablets. And my initials are J and T. So Joseph Tavares is my real name. Okay. So the J's, J Tablet, you know, it all makes sense.
So you've been involved with music, what, your whole life? When did you start performing?
I started performing when I was about 17, and I didn't really record and, you know, get in the studio until about 18 or 19. But after that, I've been living in the studio, so it's been good. It's been fun. Yeah.
And do you make your own beats, or?
Yeah, I produced 12 out of the 18 on my new album. I'm producing for other artists in Bend and, you know, California. But it's something I just picked up. I haven't always been producing my own music, though. So,
cool.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about performing with Hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
I also saw that you performed with like Tech Nine and Andre Nicotina.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
All of them. I've been blessed with being able to open for people that I listened to for so long, and the exposure is just like 1 in a million, and you know, and you get to meet them, and you get to see that they're all like, you know, some people are dicks, you know, some people are definitely like, you don't want to work with them, but a lot of people are humble and it makes you realize that, you know, it's different than what you think, you know? Yeah.
Where did you get to perform with them?
I've performed in California, Nevada, Oregon. Bend, Oregon is like my roots. That's where I'm from. So I do have a lot of shows. You know, I've opened for E40, and that was probably the biggest one, and it was like 1,400 people. You know,
that's a good crowd.
Yeah, so you know, it's definitely a fun thing, adrenaline rush. You know, that's what I do it for. You know, like fun is like the ultimate of my music, partying and having fun. Period. So
That sounds like a good plan.
You know.
Are you producing a new CD right now?
I'm working with my group Cloak Characters. We are in the studio right now performing. Like I'm on tour right now, so I'm like performing and I'm like going back and forth with the studio. So slowly but surely, I'm getting there.
So where are your next few shows at then?
We have Bend tomorrow, and then we have Boise, Idaho the next day, and then I'll be done with this. We had 7 shows in 10 days. So I'll be done with this spurt, and then I'll go back to the studio, and then I start again on June 5th. So.
Are you wanting to go mainstream?
This album was a lot more mainstream. The last album with Cloak Characters was more like underground hip-hop, raw beats. This one had a lot more production value, a lot more like poppy hooks. And then you guys watch the show, you'll see that there's like a lot of like I used the same formula as pop. So yeah.
Well, I really look forward to listening to your show.
Yeah.
Where can we get a hold of you? What's your website?
Cloakcharacters.com is the main one I'm on. Basically, if you Google J Tablet, everything is /J Tablet. So you can have Facebook /J Tablet, Twitter /J Tablet, MySpace / I mean everything. Reverb Nation, CD Baby, iTunes. I mean the full deal.
So you're going to find him no matter what. Search J Tablet. Yeah. And thank you so much for talking with me. I really enjoyed meeting you. I look forward to your show.
Thank you, peeps.
Well, that's all I got for you tonight. Thanks for watching the show. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Sierra. If you want to find out more about Caitlin Cardier or J Tablet, be sure to visit their websites.
Next week, big changes are happening to the world of the Blonde Bombshells.
Until then, stay tuned for music videos and a new episode of Locals Live.
See you next week!